Hold on. All right, I think we are live. Yeah, just trying out the new intro and stuff. So yeah, welcome everyone. Okay, and I guess recently I got quite a number of few new subscribers. So I think they must be wondering why I have like 2 person over here. So I think I should do some introduction. So basically, the guy on the below the good looking chap is Narwhal. Not saying that Nate is not good looking, but
I see
And-
how it is. I
oh
see how
no!
it is.
Oh no! No, I no. Another good-looking chap over here is Nate. Basically, three of us and our artist friend Matt Carson. We are doing a comic book. Basically, it's the modding inspired comic book. But also, let me spend a few moments. Let me just hold on. Let me just spend some time to basically show some of my subscriber what I've been doing, so they'll not be so weird out that how come suddenly I'm like talking about comic book. Basically, let me just show my work screen. Can we see our work screen? I think
How
we
many
can.
subs are you up to, Tungsten?
2K,
Oh,
2000,
sweet.
2000. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so maybe I'll spend some time to at least update my viewers that's interested in modding what I'm actually up to. I'm actually also modding. This is a blaster that I got. Right. Okay, so I've showcased this blaster before to my viewers. I think they know that, but because the performance is pretty bad, so I actually came out with some 3D parts. This whole thing is this gray thing is a 3D design, and no, I want to improve it just to show my viewers. So this will go here, and then this is gonna go here. Oh, okay. So it's gonna be like a battery case kind of thing, right? And then everything will be upgraded. The motors, everything I prepare it. I even got some chips. This is a PWM, I think, some PWM stuff. I can control the rate of fire, everything. Yep. So again, some 3D design parts. This will probably be able to fit some other blaster as well. Okay. Oh no, is the video hang?
A
Oh
little
yeah,
bit here and
froze.
there.
Oh no, it froze. Okay, so I guess
There
that's
it
all
goes.
the update. Okay, it goes. Oh, damn, what's
HD.
going on?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
HD.
better.
Oh yeah. So yeah, so this is one of the
Froze
project
again.
I'm working
I'm
on.
just kidding.
Yeah. So this is one of the damn now. Well, so this is another one. Oh, basically, just a quick thing. Finally, I have one kind of like how should I say, distributor, Monkey Mods. They actually kind of like sponsor me stuff. Yeah.
Oh, cool. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, and basically, okay, just a reminder to my viewers: if you want to get anything from Monkey Mods, you can always let me see now, key in a code. Let me see this code. Yeah, if you can key in Tungsten, and when purchasing stuff, you can actually get a discount. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, modding stuff. Yeah. So again, so this is one of the blaster that they kind of sent it to me because I requested for it. I think this is a flywheel blaster, so I'm working on it. Kind of so I work out the wiring diagram, everything. I'll post it up eventually. I got the motors, everything, but I'm just too lazy to to kind of wire it up. But actually, yeah, it takes some time. I actually did all the soldering and work out the diagrams, which I will do. So yeah, so look forward to that. My God, all over the place. Yeah, I'm gonna just throw it on the floor first so that we don't delay the stuff. All right. Okay, so that is my workbench. Okay, so you can just see my hand. All right, so let me just go on to the big screen. So what are we doing here today? Like I said, I'm with my friend Narwhal and Nate. Both good looking, but not as good looking as myself. So I probably don't want to show my face
Will never
so
be
that
proven.
so that don't feel too bad.
It's because because we can't see your face. It means all possibilities exist. So for all we
Hell
know,
yeah.
Right.
All right. So actually, like I say, we are actually working on a comic book project, and it's called Modded, and we are actually at page 25 in the artwork. Yeah, maybe just do a quick show. This is just one of the latest pages over here. Yeah,
yeah,
art by our artist Matt Carson.
looks
Right.
so great.
So
I'm so excited for it to come out. I feel like Costin's
yeah.
style, it's like world class, you know. So
Mm,
I just
yeah,
hope.
man. Yeah, so we are at page 35. This is the line art, and I make myself useful by doing some flats.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm actually working on one of the flats. You can see over here. So maybe later on we will just take a look at. So we
No, this
yeah,
I was
what's
gonna
that?
say we should find a way to use like just this 3-color strip in marketing because it reminds me of like a Cowboy Bebop cover or something.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, maybe subconsciously that's going into my brain. That's why that's why when I'm doing the flats, I'll straight away come up with this.
Yeah,
Yeah, man. Oh my
yeah,
god.
because Cowboy Bebop's in the news right now.
Right.
And I would say controversial character is the lady, right? The girl Faith, is it?
Yeah,
Faith
Yeah.
Valentine. Yeah, and I believe her background is she's actually from Singapore. The
Oh,
character.
really?
Oh, cool.
Yes. If you
Yeah.
check out Cowboy Bebop, okay, it was hinted
You-
that Faye was from Singapore.
I did
Yeah.
not
Oh,
realize
that's
that.
cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
And
you know, she released. There was a video going around of that actress, I guess, talking
uh-huh.
crap to the fans. I
Yeah,
just saw it.
yeah.
I never listened to it. I just saw it, but I clicked
Uh-huh.
into it once for like 10 seconds, and she kind of
Uh-huh.
was, so I turned it off. But I was thinking too, she's kind of channeling Faye in that moment. So like, I actually don't mind that much.
Yeah, that's true. There was some
Yep.
serious Faye Valentine energy in her attitude. So
Yeah,
just the attitude, right? Other than
yeah,
that, nothing in common. But anyway, okay. So today, basically, we are going to, in fact, the script for Modern One, Book One is already done, and my friends Nate and Nawal is working on the script for Book Two, and I told them that actually I thought about Book Three. It'll be nice to go through. I mean, we sometimes we do this stream just to brainstorm aloud. Yeah, so it's just us talking about the script. So hopefully it's entertaining enough. I'm not too sure. Yeah, but yeah. So that's what we're gonna do, and I'm gonna just briefly go through with them what I came up with for book three. I don't think I can multitask, so so you guys just have to watch the what's that the slideshow so you know some of the character that we're talking about over here. Yeah, guys, are we good to go? Let's talk about book three. How's that?
yeah. I have a quick questions about book two, maybe, and then
Hmm.
let's jump into book three because they kind of connect. Then,
Okay.
but so did you guys see in the last bullets that I updated? I added where Harriet challenges the young champion to a drinking game of
Yep.
Gatorade, and
Yeah.
do you guys think that works, or should we like maybe that works, but we still need to work it in a little better? But that was like I was just writing, and I was like, oh, what if she did this? So it was kind of a cool moment of improv.
I must
okay.
have missed that. I know I
Okay.
looked at that new draft, but I guess I didn't get to that part.
In some sense, I guess it works a little bit because we got to have it gave a reason why they kind of need a competition and they have a representation kind of stuff. But I read it. I say I'm gonna think about it, kind of like give it a few days or something like that, and then see whether it works. But once I read it, I think it's quite okay, but it might be a little bit too long. I'm not too sure whether it will cause the whole flow to be a little bit too long. But it could be interesting, so that they actually have a reason why they kind of now is on par, that they each lost to a human. A quick loss.
Yeah. So
right.
Nate, when you look at it, you can keep it through that skeptical lens of either ways to make it more efficient or to make it if we need it or to set it up a little better. It has the thing I kind of like about it is it sort of has a accidental setup where we've been setting up the Gatorade makes the aliens drunk and the humans not. So, but young champion doesn't know that. So that's kind of like the joke is like Harry challenges him to a drinking game, and then it's just water for her, but booze for him. So he actually does lose, and then he's not undefeated anymore. So that's why they have to do the or whatever.
Okay.
So they put the two old and new champion on par that they have lost to some human. Yeah, kind of. But anyway, okay. So
By the way, guys, I'll be right back. I need 1 minute. I got to call my brother. He just called me, so I'll be right back.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So maybe should I read? Okay. All right. So since maybe I should mute Narwhal first. Make sure. Okay, I mute her in. Okay. Since Narwhal is off, maybe I just talk a little bit of what is this actually all about. This modded comic book. So again, for my viewers who are new, okay, this comic book is actually inspired by our hobby, the modding of Foam Blaster. So it's basically a story whereby a alien nation came over to our planet, but they are not looking for kind of a conquest, kind of a hostile takeover. Rather, it's a challenge. Okay, simply because human is unmatched, so-called, we can't fight them in terms of the firepower. So end up, we simply have no chance of winning. So they actually propose a 1,000 kind of a challenge. Anyone that can win them in terms of any challenge, they will just leave. So the Earth send all the stuff, all kind of sports or whatever to try to beat the so-called the alien champion, almost like Olympics, right? Just over them. But anyway, everybody lost, right? So it's right down to a few handful of possibility of challenging the alien. And in fact, our characters over here, they try to challenge them in a kind of a battle of foam flinking tournament, kind of. But it may sound a little bit strange and funny, but rest assured, the script, we write it so straight that I don't know how to explain it. Nate, maybe help me out. It's like kind of
the goal is to take it seriously, and yet enjoy how ridiculous it is. So like it's silly, but we're playing it straight so that we can really enjoy how silly this premise is. I don't know if that comes through well.
Well, I hope everybody give it a go once we are.
It's like that. A lot of mangas like that. It's like a ridiculous idea, but then you play it super straight.
Correct.
Think about if I can make a comparison. If you've watched Cobra Kai, everything in Cobra Kai is ridiculous because you have these people beating each other up with karate. The police never get involved. Almost no adults ever get involved. It's really silly, and it's but it's fun. It's a lot of fun because the characters are great. The action is great. That's what we're trying for with modded.
Yeah, it's like a level of suspension of disbelief. But by the way, suspension of disbelief is like really a fun thing to do as an audience, and that's almost another thing that's almost like a lost art or whatever. Like Muppets are like some of the best suspension of disbelief muscle and that kind of stuff.
And the audience will believe how a group of foam slinging fellas save the world. All right. Okay, book three. All right. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna be fast. Okay, so end of book two. Remember, we say who is left at the alien planet and who escaped, right? Okay, so end of book two. Okay, it'll be Bruce, Ken, and the champion, the old champion that is left on the planet. Okay, who escaped is the princess, the ambassador, Henry, Harriet, and Lam. Okay, okay, so this is the end of book two, right? All
Yeah.
right, start of book three. We say that Elias, which is the father of Lam, will wake up in the lightning world because he was struck by the lightning. He'll woke up in the lightning world, greeted by a beautiful lady, the alien, which of course we know in the future will be the wife of the old champion, right? And then he woke up there and then be greeted there. Then we realize Elise is in the lightning world. So there's such a thing called a lightning world, right? So the next will be the princess and the rest of the people, Henry, Ambassador, Harriet, and Lam. The princess says that they'll go and meet with her grandfather, right? Okay, so so he said that his father, which is champion, actually asked her to do that, go to meet up with the grandfather. So then we'll talk about the backstory that we spoke of. Okay, why the princess looks so different? She's good looking,
Hmm.
and then and different from the race. So I'm not too sure y'all remember the backstory. So the princess
It-
mom is actually
It's because
conquered.
they had a challenge to who can make each other laugh, right?
Yeah. And then the princess is actually, I mean, the mother is actually the first conqueror to the our current alien planet. Yeah. All right. So they are to travel to meet the grandfather, right? Okay. So when they reach, of course, the grandfather welcome the princess, but actually he order the rest to be locked up, kind of. Okay. So he only accept the princess, and the rest is actually being locked up. All right. Okay. So basically, we know that the grandfather actually doesn't really like the champion. Actually, he's only interested in the granddaughter because daughter of his only daughter, right? Something like that. So next we go back to the Earth. Sudden, then we go back to the Earth scene. Then we see the new champion actually, the young champion actually appears in the horizon. He came to Earth again, all right, in the night time, and then he announced he's here to conquest again, something like that. So the crowd will gather around, and then the people of Earth, of course, will protest and say, "But we won, fair and square, right? So he should leave, right? Because we won." And then the new champion actually opened up one of the spaceship, the hatch or something like that, and then he showcased one of he actually showcased the old champion, maybe hang him or something, crucify him or something on a platform, and then he exclaimed, "You mean this champion?" I mean, then the Earth people see the old guy, right? That the from book out. You mean this guy? Then the Earth people is like, huh? Then suddenly there's a lightning struck onto the old champion, and he's being lightning. Okay, the old guy, the
Hmm.
old champion, lightning gone. Okay, yeah, hold on. So the human is all in shock, right? Oh my god, the old conquest guy is being lightning, and then he's gone. And then we also see that everybody is in other countries like looking at the big monitors as well. So we saw that there's two hooded men, okay, in hoods, okay, at Tokyo. Okay, they are also watching the monitor and saw this as well, right? Okay, so then back to the new champion. He continue his speech. He says, okay, let me see. So let me see my notes. Okay, so he'll declare, bring forth your your team, the your own champions team, and get ready an arena for the for the tournament. Then of course, kind of the Earth people say that, but Lam is not there, right? Okay, then the champion say, but he will be here soon. Kind of. So it's like, huh? Okay, kind of. Okay, the new champion just simply say, "Get ready your former team. Get ready the team, and your Earth champion will return soon, and we shall have a final battle." Something like that. Right. So we
Okay.
realize that something is not too right. Okay, how come you say that? Okay, so all this while the two hooded men is watching the big screen. They are at Tokyo, right? So the new guy have lightning the old champion, and then he declare everything. So next scene, we move on to the two hooded men, right? So they after watching that, they turn away and walk away, right? So the next scene is we saw these two hooded men standing outside of a security facility, all right, a door. In fact, that facility is what Harriet and the gangs are trying to break in book one, all right. So
Oh,
one of the men, yeah, all right. So one of the men will explain, I know this is the only facility that the so-called the alien from the first book set up on Earth, and they have been trying to find out what's going on inside and trying to go in. And Harriet is one of the task force, but they didn't manage to. So one of the men told the other guy a little bit of background, so we know that this
okay.
is the
This is
facility.
good. This is like definitely some stuff that can play a little bit into what we're writing now. I think
Yeah, yeah,
like this
Mm.
area might reference it or that kind
yeah,
of
yeah. So later I'll tell you something more. So the other person didn't answer anything. So the other man just go to the so-called the access panel. He key in some code, and then he spoke in alien language, the so-called the language of the our champion. And then they gain access. Then they actually walk in. The two hooded men actually walk in. So they walk through the corridor, right? So again, then they reach a big room, right? So again, what the other hotel man will just punch something, and the lights came up. So first the light on the right came out, that they saw rows and rows of tubes, right? Then when you look closer, they seems to be like the inside the tubes are seems to look like the Earth fallen contender from book one. So you saw the boxer, you saw the Sudoku lady, you saw the skateboard guy.
Oh
So
yeah.
all
Right.
rows and rows of tubes of seems to be them, right? All right. So then the other side of the light came up. Then they saw rows and rows of what looks like the so-called the alien species that they came, the old champion, but they are all in different outfit as well, right? And then the final light came out from the front, and then they saw in the middle is the old champion, seems to be the old champion in the tube. Beside him, another tube which is a good-looking alien. Actually, is the one that we saw in Elise when he woke up. When Elise woke up, greeted by an alien, right? The girl. So we saw her on the side of the champion, and then the other side is actually the ambassador. So all these tube, okay, are bodies of these people, right? And then later on, the two men unhood themselves. It is Bruce and Ken.
Oh,
Okay.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
You all know what I'm getting at?
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, okay. So now back to the grandfather, the alien grandfather. Okay, so little bit of why is this? So it turns out the old champion, right? We know from the backstory that he was the nation that was conquered by the so-called the grandfather's species, kind of, and he won. So so ever since then, and of course he married the so-called the princess mom, right? So but ever since then he's trying to so-called revive or get back his fellow man, right? That was lost in his kind of first battle. So he strike a deal with the grandfather, of course. He said, "You have to help me conquer worlds now, right? And if you were to manage to conquer, let's say X amount of world, then I'll tell you how you can get back your people." Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
You can get your people, right? So that's why the champion is willing to go out and conquer the rest of the so-called species. So he has been doing this all this while. Then Earth is actually the last nation that he need to conquer, and the grandfather is supposed to fulfill his wish to give back all his fellow men, right?
Cool.
But he
So he's not
yeah,
the race that understands the lightning, kind of. That's like
yeah,
another
yeah. So
powerful
yeah,
race.
yeah. So that is the grandfather's race, right? The
Yeah.
facility is created by them. Yeah. Yeah, so Earth turns out to be that, but of course you know that he will never so-called honor the words or something like that. No, he has always have his suspicion. So along the way, he of course actually found some info about it. All right. So when he was in Earth, what he did was he actually, well, when he first started off to conquer the rest of the world, he didn't think too much. He just want to save, so he actually just go and conquer the world. But by the time he reached Earth, he's already all more or less, sick of it or something like that. So he didn't want to do what he had done for so many other nations, right? So for Earth, so he actually set up this facility, right? All right. So what happened is every challenge he did, he actually cloned the body of the contender. So what you saw in the tips are just a shell, okay? Because once you lightning, everything is turned to ash. The consciousness are gone, right? So every challenge he did on Earth, actually, before that, he already have this intention. So all the tips are the clones, lifeless body of all the past contender on Earth, right? And then the other side, we saw rows and rows of the alien people. It's actually his fellow man. He managed to also prepare the body. And in the middle, we saw he prepared for himself, he prepared for the wife, and then he prepared for the ambassador, something like that. So Bruce, remember we say that who left in book 2 is Bruce, Ken, and the champion. So the champion actually sacrificed himself to be captured, and Bruce and Ken escape. And Bruce, of course, is very entwined with their so-called nation when they are in book 2, right? So he is actually in the know. So he was to come here and come to this body and prepare to receive back their consciousness from the lightning world. That is the
Cool.
backstory. How's
Yeah,
that?
the
Yeah.
old champion can know and like tell them a little bit too. Like, yeah, they're kind of
Yeah.
in on the plan.
Yeah. So everything is now connected. kind of. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like it. That's fun. Yeah.
Mm.
Because so we're up to like 3 books, and yeah, it's like book 1 is just like fun concept. Book 2 is kind of like it's sort of like random rising action, but it's one of my favorites. Maybe just because it's just all this random crap that has tons of setups and payoffs, and it's just kind of fun. And then part 3 is like everything's starting to wind up, towards like the climax. So
Yeah.
it's a little bit more on the roller coaster towards like the eventual like end of the story, which that's fun too. Like it almost could get close to ending at part 3, or do you think we'll have a part 4 which will just be like a huge battle kind of thing? Or
Yeah, I'm thinking like part 3, right? It might be too long because when I write all the points, it tends to be maybe too long. So we can get a climax, kind of a point whereby stop, and then book 4 is a lot of action kind of book. Yeah, but anyway, so for book 2, I know that you have started a script, and then there's some mention of the Tokyo incident, and there's a mention of lightning. So I probably will have to remove all the lightnings because lightning. There's later I'll discuss with you what are lightnings, right? So because you say that when you go into Tokyo, they saw a lot of lightning kind of damages. So we take that away. We'll just say we saw the damages done by the tentacles.
yeah,
Yeah, that makes
Because
sense.
those are monsters as well. So it's fine.
so
And
yeah.
and then
So like some important things too is when they go to the alien planet, it's actually not the Beak planet. Then like the
no,
Beak planet got conquered long ago, and there's only a few Beaks left,
yeah.
and the
So
princess is like half Beak. Yeah.
yeah,
So okay. So this is cool though. I
yeah.
like.
So how are you going to tie in the people disappearing? Who is actually capturing them? It's not the new champion actually. So you have to hear the next part. Yeah. Okay. So the next phase is after we saw all the bodies, right? You go back to the grandfather scene, which is the princess. So it turns out the grandfather is the guy that is the kind of the mastermind, kind of controlling the young champion. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
He basically straight away say that he's going to send Lam and gang back to Earth, all right, to face the young champion, and he basically held the princess hostage or something like that, right? Kind of, and yeah, so he is the one that actually kind of pulling the string at the background. And then remember book 2, we say that a lot of people are disappearing. All the contender is actually captured by tentacles controlled by the grandfather. And then he is the one that send the so-called the childhood nemesis for the young champion to battle in book 2. So he is the one that got all the people, and he's the one that after everybody left, he's the one that go and capture all the people. So that's the grandfather part, right? Yeah. So again, all right. So he's supposed to send Lam back, okay. And then what happened to all those people that he captured, right? So it turns out that the grandfather actually, when the young champion reached Earth, he actually gave the young champion all those people that he gathered around, okay, for the past that doesn't want to comply except for the childhood nemesis, right? He actually comply and willingly, right? So all those that doesn't comply, actually, they hook them up and they transfer their knowledge of the battle to the young.
Oh, cool. That's
Yeah, so that is why he feel confident that he can win this time. All right. So
yeah.
everybody will sum up the knowledge and transfer into the
Yeah.
young.
The more feeling of like kind of like
Mm.
it's unfair
Yeah.
is the better kind of.
Yeah. So in a way, we also get to know why are they so good at all sports.
Right.
Because
Oh
they
yeah.
always transfer knowledge on all the
And
people they get capture.
we talked in
Even
a previous stream
Mm.
that like this kind of sci-fi idea that the
Mm.
souls in the lightning room world are almost like what like untraceable tokens, like it's almost, but it's like a credit system, but it's almost like Bitcoin or whatever, but they're using
yeah,
the alien
yeah,
souls.
yeah.
I still like that idea. I don't
Yeah.
know if you like if we can like that's if I don't know if like
It is
that
still. So I have a reason what is the lightning word. So yeah, so it is still kind of that idea, tokenization of consciousness.
yeah, cool. That's
Yeah,
hilarious. Yeah, because
yeah,
that's fun
yeah,
because you could explain that in like one
mm,
page,
yeah.
and
You
that's
could,
like that could be
yeah,
its whole own Philip K. Dick
mm,
sci-fi novel, but we're just doing it in one.
yeah.
But it
And in
does
fact,
like it because sometimes when you answer questions, like
mhm,
it can be like there can be like intrigue, and then if the answer doesn't live up to it, sometimes you're like
mhm,
but that's
mm,
like a hilarious, cool answer, I think, of
yeah,
like, what is the lightning world? And you're like,
yeah,
well, it's tokenization of souls, and you're like,
yeah.
oh,
So
okay.
yeah. So if maybe I briefly explain my rough idea of the world. So the grandfather nation kind of world, of course, they created this system, right? We can say that it's actually a nation of three or something like that. The grandfather is just one of the three, okay? Three of the grand nation. All right. So they actually created this initially as a sort of a prison, right? So what is the best prison, right? You do not grant your enemy the luxury of death. Okay, you want eternal suffering. So the eternal suffering is you capture their consciousness and never release it, kind of. So it's kind of a prison, and then then it evolved through generation. They just capture consciousness is not nothing to do. No, you just build out the prison. There's nothing much you can do. Right? But they realize that once the consciousness is captured, they can kind of view it, play around with it. It's tokenized, right? So they change it into a commodity. Right? The guy that captured it, you can trade it. It's a kind of bragging rights, right? Okay, and then they can call increase the value of it. This is it's almost like even primitive. When we are hunters, we capture our enemy. We can hang them on our necklace or something like that. I don't know, right? It's like
Yeah,
a showcase. So this is become the new showcase. It's a tokenized consciousness whereby you can just bring out and brag, and then and it's like
yeah,
it's
it's cool
internal
because
suffering.
you could just imagine how it would become its own economy, and
Yeah.
it would work for
Mm.
interplanetary
Yeah.
like and there is funny stuff like there's usually it's like you have one biggest token that you use as like the transfer token. So
Yeah.
it's like if it's USD in the world, like a lot of people like, how much is like a ruble worth? And you're like, it's like about half of one USD. And like so there
Yeah.
could be like one race in particular. It's I mean it's
Yeah.
almost like Pokemon. It's like the one race is the most
So
rare.
every planet you conquer is like a new token, kind of thing, Earthlings. And then
Yeah,
they have different values or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, so instead of just a prison, now you can become a commodity whereby you can trade and then just hold it. Yeah, kind of thing. So basically, so now this system, okay, of course, what's the lightning, right? The lightning is actually basically just the grandparents it kind of a weird technology whereby you can bestow to any of your conqueror, right? But it must be a case whereby it is one kind of you don't use it that often. If you use it for for a moment, you'll be vulnerable, something like that. So you don't see them keep using it, or else they'll be keep using it, right? Just zap and zap. Okay, so it's kind of an honor system, and also if you use it for let's say some period of time, you'll be vulnerable. But we see that the champion always after he won the match and use it, so nobody will dare to do anything to him. They won't even know that he's vulnerable, right? Kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still a bit sketchy in my brain. How does it work? So kind of in this era, in this way. So now, so this so-called prison is must be high security, right? So how do they design? Of course, nobody should be able to escape, right? But it turns out that to escape, you must go from within, right? And from within, you must be the grandfather kind of race. So they won't imprison their own people, right? Kind of. They are not designed to imprison their own people.
Right.
So to break out from it, it must be from someone of their race. Then who is in it? The princess mother. It is the race of
Yeah.
the grandfather. So
Okay.
she is the key to break out of that prison. And actually the champion found out this. That's why he also planned for himself to go in. Yeah. To basically break out of it. Yeah.
Interesting.
The,
Huh?
the last thing that I'm curious about that we can figure out is so the grandfather, he's kind of a bad guy.
Yeah.
And then so like does he like lose in the end, and like who's
So
he
in
rooting
the end,
for?
yeah. So in the end, right, because he is sent back Lam to Earth, right? So he will also kind of like travel back and say, he thought that he's going to win with the young champion. So he went there and boast about it, and he's the grand kind of like oversee this match kind of thing.
Hmm.
Yeah, so he can pronounce himself and make it known, and then he's the authority to say that now you do it in front of me, kind of, right? Yeah, so he become the authority. Then of course he lost. Like I say, we can expand this, say that this
Oh yeah, so
like
it can be kind of simple. Like he just wants Earth. He really wants them
yes,
to get
yeah,
light
correct,
because he's just running this
yeah,
like huge
yeah,
intergalactic
yeah,
economy, and it'll really help him. And
yeah,
so
and
his
then,
attempt one fails because the old
mm,
champion doesn't make it. So then he starts orchestrating his attempt two, and then that fails too, and that's the end of the story.
yeah,
Right.
kind of, and then he's like I say, we can stage it such that like I say, he's the nation of three. He's just one of them, and when he lost, we can just showcase some two characters from two other nations and just laughing or something like that.
Yeah,
At
yeah,
this
that's
guy who
cool.
lost again.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
the
we
last
have no
thing
choice.
I was thinking the last kind of maybe thing to do is his plan could actually be deliberately to get Lamb out of the picture so Earth won't have a champion, so then it'll be easier to conquer Earth, and Lamb getting to Earth goes against his plan.
Nah,
So
okay, so yeah, so my story is because like I said okay, instead of getting rid of Lam, what they actually did. Okay, I'll tell you the next part. Because we have the scene whereby Ken and Bruce is in the facilities, right? Remember all the clones, right?
yeah.
Now, how the conscious survivor is going to go in, we'll figure it out. But at the point whereby they are about to transfer, the young champion actually know where they are. right, and send his so-called his right-hand man to so-called destroy them. How do they know? They actually know through Ken. Why Ken? Because Ken was once captured by the young champion. He have implanted something on him, and he unknowingly gave the information. So that's the link, right? So we went there. So in the process of this thing, because eventually they are more afraid of the. Okay, by the way, we also get to know that actually the old champion did not really lose to Lam in some sense. He actually purposely lose in a way, right? Okay, so they wanted to get rid of the old champion body, kind of. So in the whole process, they actually destroy the body of the old champion and they destroy the body of the wife clone body. So there's no way they can come back, right? So like remember what I say? End up the consciousness of the old champion will transfer to Lam, and the wife will transfer to Harriet because they lost the body, kind of. Right?
Yeah.
And then I remember saying that maybe the father will transfer to the one of the blaster of Lam, but I find it's a bit difficult to talk to kind of work the story towards that. So I'm thinking maybe even the father will just transfer to the extra body of the ambassador. So end up we have two ambassador body. Yeah, sounds interesting.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, how's that?
So like it then the final battle set up where the young champion gets the information of all the previous challengers who were really good.
Yep.
But then Lamb gets the old
old champion, and then Harriet get the wife. Yeah, then we have Sunny, we have Quick and Quiet. Yeah.
Yeah, and they'll be on Earth, so we'll think of something for them to do because they get left behind and aren't really in part 2.
Yeah. Either maybe we also can kind of like because we also talk about the previous bodies of the alien race. We can also, if we want to kind of, we can't figure it out. Maybe the easy way is like we also get like 3 warriors being destroyed, and then they also receive their consciousness.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That could be one. And then they are all now kind of like a superhuman. I don't know.
What would be cool?
That could be an easy way out.
You know what could be cool is for the final battle, because it probably can't just be like another Dart War. It could be like a little more battle royale-ish. I thought it one kind of cool idea. This is all kind of just random, like within itself to make it fun. But if it's like the entire planet is the battlefield, and I don't know if it's like if you can just like blow up, if it's like a simulation and you blow up like different, cities get decimated or what, like maybe not that big, but the whole planet's the battlefield. And it could be cool if the only weapon that Lamb gets to start is a key that opens any door. And so the first thing you have to do is like think of what door to get into, or like it's like a key or a key card. And you have access to everything on Earth, but you still have to survive to get in there, and they just have to get all these weapons and like I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That one probably is book 4, right? Maybe we can think of something. Or even if it's not the whole place, it could be a place whereby maybe just Tokyo or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Or if it's not everyone, it could be the whole kind of warriors that came back from the old champion. Remember, they have a clone of 1,000 against the new set. I don't know. Yeah, that I have to figure out. Yeah.
It'll be big and cool though, and it'll be like I guess is it like to the death, or is it like a simulation so that there can be lots of death without it being high stakes, or like because it's kind of been games and challenges all the way. It's nice if it's like high stakes games, like it can still be life and death, but I don't know if you just want it to sort of devolve at the end into like just real bullets and
no, then it will not be that fun.
like we might want a little more
Yeah.
fun. And some of it is based on the powers they have. So
Yeah, correct.
oh, what if it's like
I'm more inclined.
what if it's like this is how I don't know, kind of ridiculous, but like a
I
new
like ridiculous.
a new
We can't do ridiculous in this
Yeah.
story about
Yeah,
aliens
yeah.
with Nerf guns.
But it's like I don't know how it would happen, but like from everyone's expertise, a new game forms out of the ether, and they have to learn the rules in like 1 minute, and then they say play. And so like the rules are, it's like baseball, but it's world. So you have to get from like LA to New York is like first base,
Oh,
but you have to, like,
okay. Yeah. We can do maybe even 1-to-1 instead of 5-against-5 now for for something.
oh yeah,
Yeah. So we can have some lose, some win, and then they can have different kind of like what you say, they come out with different stuff. Yeah. I'm not too sure.
yeah. Or it could be like just a little bit more thinking out loud with this like super huge base, if because sports a lot of times they'll have like a ball, and like they could just announce what the ball is, and then so like to even win, if it's like capture the flag or
Uh-huh.
so the ball could be like the president's daughter or something, so you have to go kidnap the president's daughter to even play the game, and then you have to throw her in the basket, which is like the Bermuda Triangle or something.
Yeah, we can try. We can figure out. So yeah, so I guess book 4 can be an entire book of challenges, right? Yeah, kind
Yeah.
of. Yeah. So we can have like a book 4
Oh
and
yeah,
it's
and
really
like
all action.
yeah,
Yeah.
like like there is subgenres that we could kind of pull from. Like I think
Yeah.
I've actually never seen the movie, but isn't there a movie called Rat Race where there's like around the world
Yes.
in 100 days or something,
Yeah.
like those kind of like almost like a
Okay.
road trip challenge
Okay.
could
Oh
be a
yeah.
good
Yeah,
subgenre.
could be. We can do that. I think we can. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like
And
it's
then
almost just like a
yeah,
race, just like a
yeah,
race around the world.
we
Like that
can.
would be
Yeah.
kind of cool.
We can have
Um,
end of book 3, which is the start of the race, kind of. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
And by the way, remember we always try to think very hard. What can Henry do? Right.
Yeah.
But
Right.
actually, I kind of like the idea that he actually didn't have to do anything. He's just a kid around along for the ride. And the ending for Henry is basically he get united with his father. That's about it.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So
and
it's like you
in
don't
part
really.
2,
Mm,
go ahead, sorry.
yeah. So yeah. So he doesn't really need to have kind of very very important significant role to play. Here and there he will appear and do something, but his story is almost like he's just a spectator that got caught in it, and then he's just in for the ride, and eventually he got to kind of reunite with his father and say that, man, I got so many things to tell you. Kind
Oh
of.
yeah. Yeah, that's cool. In part 2, there's a few things we're kind of developing with him that aren't bad. But it's not like he's doing too much. But he's like, his relationship with the ambassador is actually fairly interesting because it's almost like adoptive father. And then I set up just with the look, but I think I can play it out more. Is that his relationship with the princess is kind of interesting. I think he'll have like a little boy crush on the princess.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. That's good.
And yeah, those two things can kind of pull him through. And maybe like we talked, I don't know, like you said, we don't need this, but like he could get put into a machine that ages him 10 years at some point, and then he gets like overpowered or like.
Yeah, no, I think we will. I probably will not do that. A bit too complicated for the whole thing.
Yeah.
So so we just keep him as a kid. He's almost like our audience. Kind of. Yeah. And then he'll here and there, try to provoke people a little bit. Yeah, he always try to provoke people, right? Kind of get himself in trouble. Yeah. Yep. So that's all I have. Kind of a overview for book 3, how to tie all the things up. So yeah, so I probably will have to ask you all to remove the mentioning of lightning for the book 2 for the damages. So the tentacles are basically just useful kind of beasts for them to control around to take prisoners, kind of. Yeah. Cool.
Okay.
How's it? Sounds good.
Yeah, that all sounds good.
Yeah.
I was thinking about part 2, and I kind of forgot what I was going to say, but I think part 2 with it's just with with the Harriet challenging the young champion to the drinking game. One, like some pros and cons, like a good pro of that is it quickly gives her something really important to do to the story, kind of. Whereas before she's kind of just dragged along almost too much like Henry, and so if we can, I think it's more of a matter of like finessing that to let it work in. Like it might just need a little more setup, but maybe again it doesn't. Because I was wondering, like, like what's her motivation to even do that? And I think it's part of the way it is now. It's like it's her reading the room, so she's kind of friends with the princess. The princess is upset that the old champion is going to get immediately put into exile, because he's the loser and the new one's the winner now. Yeah, and then she's the one who kind of improvs that moment. So it kind of works. And then Nate, if you're looking at it, what I did after that is there's a news crew there. And I think that could almost possibly be relooked at or rewritten, but they just explain, it kind of cuts to later. The new young champion's drunk and the old champion's drunk because he's bummed that he lost to Bruce. So they're both drunk. So it's kind of funny. But then, and then there's a news crew there just kind of announcing what happened. And we can change that to be like either more efficient or like better written or funnier. But that's one way to format it. Or we could format it a different way of like how to explain just exactly what happened. Because it feels, as it is now, it's almost maybe like a little bit too tell, don't show kind of thing, I guess. I don't know.
Right. Okay. I'll take a look at it.
Yeah. I think the Harriet part is okay because she is in fact the like kind of like the operative, right? Kind of even on Earth she's like kind of like a task force kind of thing. So it kind of fit her kind of wittiness and her.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, if you with her
Asian kind of thing.
I wasn't even thinking about that, but that fits a lot better. That she is like a spy, so she is thinking about how to
all the things to do.
Yeah. And she'll get to talk to, they'll be in your bullet points, Nate, but I think she'll talk to Lamb, and it gives her a lot more to like, obviously she won't be repeating what we've already seen, but it just kind of gives her more agency in that scene of like her and Lamb having a plan and that kind of stuff.
Right.
Yep. All sounds good. Yep. Oh my God. Okay. No. Okay. I'm thinking like, probably book 1 will probably, I don't know, maybe, I think by end of the year should be able to complete.
Yeah, no, that's exciting though.
Yeah.
Like, it'll be next spring or whatever. We can crowdfund book 1.
Yeah.
And then it'll be like a long time coming, but seeing it through, and we'll see how it does. I hope.
Book 1 will probably exceed 48 pages. I look at all the sequences. I think page 35 is only at like page 13 or 12 on all the script. So probably you will extend. Yeah, most likely.
Oh, how many total? So you say 60?
No, we say 48, but I highly doubt we can cram everything in 48. Even I would say and I think increment is probably increment of 8 pages. It'll be good for the printing if I remember correctly, right? So
80, like 80.
No. It's like 8 pages. If you want to increase, I think it's a good number to increase by 8 pages. So
so 56.
56. Yeah. If we can't hit 56, then you'll be like 8 more kind of. Yeah. Kind of. But
so like in that zone, goes, like 56, 64. Hopefully not more than that. Yeah, because we got to think about Tungsten's wallet too.
Right.
Man is crying at the corner right now.
Yeah.
My God, and not to mention the rest of the things I'm buying.
Yeah.
All right. Once we actually finish one of these projects, you'll start making it back.
Oh my
know.
god! I hope so.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I
Yeah.
hope you make your money back. I mean,
Yeah, probably.
it's
probably
like,
by
but I
book
think we were saying like if it hits like 40K, that'd be like you'd be making your money
Oh,
back. And
my god, if I hit 40K, it's like I'll be like jumping, man. I tell you,
yeah,
it's
and
like
that's
I
like
think
you know possible.
my goodness, 25K will be like, but like whoa, man, it's like oh. I tell you, if it's like 25, it's like it's very good. It's really overestimation because why? Kind of like if it's 25, that means book 2 is being paid for anyway. So my initial kind of whatever amount I put in, I don't need to put in anymore. It's using the same amount.
Oh yeah, then it's like
You know what I
rolling.
mean?
It's like
Yeah.
you're
So,
breaking even kind of.
yeah. So if I can break even, then it's actually pay for the next. So by the end of imagine by the let's just assume you just break even throughout. Even by the end of all 4, what you have is a complete IP, whereby you can repackage or whatever you want. But you have
Oh
an
yeah, that's
entire-
true. Yeah, because you'll make
and
more
then
money
you
at
only
that point.
yeah. You only spend the initial investment, but you end up you do have something that you own through and through, and it's like 4 books. And I definitely will apply for ISBN for all the books. Yeah. So yeah. So you good. Yeah. So I tell you, if it's like 25, it's like I already so happy. It's like can we even make that?
Yeah.
God. Yeah. So
No, I
don't be
think
like a
I think that's like
Gordon Murphy.
fairly realistic because like my channel is growing, Tungsten's channel is growing. We're all kind of
Yeah.
growing, and then Cossin, and it's Cossin's art, and it'll be kind of like high profile. Yeah, so we'll see, but yeah, should be good.
It'll be interesting. I actually quite interesting to see how you go. Yeah, like I say, the lateness may be a blessing in disguise. You never know. I was just telling Nate when we first met, I was like at 1K. Now I'm
Yeah.
2K plus, so it's quite interesting. Yeah, so we never know. And then everybody is kind of like doing our thing and get kind of our own kind of crowd. So yeah, so it's everything is kind of falling in places. In fact, rushing it may not be the good idea after all. No, imagine we did it like 1 year ago. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. In fact, I think I do kind of participate in some of the chats in the CG streams, so they kind of know me as well in a way.
Yeah.
I hope. Yeah. So it's kind of fun. Yeah.
Cool.
And like I say, recent days, these few days, they kind of seem to have a lot of things happening, right? It's kind of why is it happening? I remember like 2018 is quite rowdy, and now it seems to be like is it the last burst of fire from the other side?
Yeah. It is
kind of
like
interesting.
it is. Yeah, so weird how it just all of a sudden got crazy, but I'm sure it'll die down again pretty soon.
Yeah, when I think about it back then, oh man, it's kind of interesting how all things go, like who came and who goes and kind of things. Who is still remaining. It's so rich. In fact, the whole story itself, the CG story.
Yeah, that's true.
It can be a
Yeah,
whole
it's kinda
saga. Yeah. Remember I told you all about a documentary, but it's an art documentary. It's named The Cool School. It's about, I think it is a California Bay Area art kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting how a group of nobody artists start off, and then they are like, I almost it kind of reminds me of CG as well. They start off like nobody cares and something like that, and then it's small, but they are avant-garde and they do what they want. It's quite interesting. The Cool School, you can check it out in the future.
Yeah, that is cool.
Sounds interesting.
Yep. Very nice, very interesting. How, and you will realize that there's always one guy that know how to do marketing. to make the movement work. And interestingly, if you study the kind of the history of impressionists, I kind of think CG also like impressionist kind of a story. I mean, in terms of how things goes. Who is the guy who knows marketing and all?
Right.
Right? Monet, right? Who is the guy that kind of like eccentric and start off things and I think it's Manet. He's almost like your boy Zach.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then but who actually pushed the kind of be the front man kind of thing? It's Monet, right? He's not the best artist, but he's the one that is out there. Yeah, kind of. And then around him are people who are good and competent, and then there are a lot of kind of interesting kind of story behind that as well. And yeah, I like those.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. Yep.
Cool. I gotta get rolling. I have one other
Yep.
quick meeting
Can.
this morning.
Can. Yeah. Hey,
Alright.
who is Queen Bee is here? Let me just show this. Hello, Queen Bee. If you're
What's
still
up?
around. Yeah. All right, we are just about to end the stream. Yeah. So thanks for dropping by, and I think our discussion is pretty good. I think we get a rough idea of book 3, so we can work on book 2. Yeah. Shall we end the broadcast? By the way, I think I put the link for Earthbound Part 2. I think the banner is still rolling. I think the link is in my description. You can go and back my friend's book, Earthbound Part 2. Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's
thanks.
about it. Yeah. Okay, we'll end the broadcast.